Ha! She wasn't muted. I was muted. Okay, I apologize for that. Me being the NumbedSkull, I forgot to unmute myself. So, let me repeat what nobody heard me say. Hello and welcome to the Great Debate. I have another new guest on the show with me today, Lo-Fi. Say hello, Lo-Fi.
Hello, it's me, Lo-Fi.
Welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and get rid of this funky looking screen by loading up the board.
Welcome to the Great Debate.
Oh, and look at that. Everything fits in there perfect. All right. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite good.
Quite good.
I hurt myself. Got lost in a blizzard.
Well, blizzards. I like snow. I like blizzards. I don't like the fact that it melts and then happens again. I've lived in the Northeast a few different times in my life, and I remember it used to snow. You'd get a foot or two. A week later it would snow. You'd get another foot or two. A couple weeks later it would snow. You'd get another foot or two. And you'd have these 4 and 5 foot snowbanks. And I miss those. Moving on. Hello to the chat and any and all newcomers. You guys have to know that if I'm sitting here at my computer, I have a lot of stuff running. So as I'm setting up for the show and I've got all these windows open trying to make sure everything's ready for what I got to do, I keep hearing a noise. And can I make it do it for you? I will just hit this button. I think it does it. Nope. I'm an idiot. That didn't work. Okay, so, that button doesn't do what I thought it did. Awesome. Nothing's working right from Streamlabs. Great to know. Yeah, we need to keep moving on before we run into some dead air. So, Lo-Fi, you've watched the show a few times. I'm terrible sometimes. It's like, crap, everything was working. What's going wrong?
Oh, that happens every show I host. It's just a thing you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's quite the dilemma trying to be your own producer while you're on the show you're producing. And then when you're not on the show, you spend all of your time writing the show, preparing the show, setting the show up. It's like, can there be a couple more of me? I still got dishes to finish.
Yeah.
To the chat, I saw a message in there. What do I do with the bones? What do you want to do with the bones? There's bets. You can rob the bank, the bone jar. There's plenty to do. And if you are or are fond of my Discord, the bots in here have some of the same reactions. So yeah, the bots are a little scrambled. Hopefully that's entertaining to some. Moving on. I know you've watched the show, so you shouldn't have too many questions on how to play. Why don't we jump right in and pick a topic and see how it goes?
I'm so excited!
Do I need the Jeopardy tune for you? We can get that going. Oops, wrong one. I reorganized the soundboard. I don't know where anything is. Let's go. Okay, that one I knew was there. Did you pick one and I was just messing around? I don't know.
Oh, I didn't pick one.
Oh, okay.
I would like sex.
I would like sex too, but my wife's not home.
That's too bad.
These topics get harder and harder to fill sometimes, but other times it's like, this just sounds like fun. I'll put that in there. So, if you insert into a sex toy, are you having sex or masturbating?
Yeah, masturbating. That's... I don't know, that's it.
Are you sure?
Yes, because it's not another person or living thing.
Well, if you were masturbating, that'd be using your hand, wouldn't it?
No, because masturbation for women includes sex toys, and that's not considered sex. That's considered masturbation. Still.
Really?
Why would it change for a guy to fuck like a fleshlight? That would still be considered masturbation because he's
or
he
it could be. It could be said they're having sex with a toy.
Yeah. It's like, maybe, unless it's your fetish and you like fuck teddy bears and such, I guess that would be sex.
There's a woman that is looking for legislation to marry a tree. There's another one who wants to marry herself. So I don't know what would preclude them from marrying their dildo. I don't know.
No, in that case, I think it would be sex, because they would, that would be what they would consider sex. But like for someone like me, masturbation.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it? You'd think it that way. But then, stop. Let's look at laws and legislation, okay? So, in some areas, England, it's only rape if you're a man inserting into a woman. So, obviously, since you paid for the toy is consenting. So if I go and spend $25 on a fleshlight, that it's consenting for me for my uses. Okay?
Yeah.
What was my original point? I lost myself there.
I think you just wanted to talk about...
I just wanted to talk about sex. That's why I put it on the board.
No, I get that.
So... I wouldn't be raping the fleshlight, I'd be having sex with the fleshlight.
But is the fleshlight living? Don't you need a certain amount of intelligence in the thing you fuck for it to be able to be raped?
I don't know. We could, compare a fleshlight to some Hollywood blondes, and they'd come out on level playing ground. I mean...
Yeah, but again, they as stupid and bimbo-esque as they do have a pulse and they do have a brain, even though most of them doesn't sound like that.
Oh, that doesn't do what I thought it did. Oh, that's terrible. Don't do that. Don't do that. I can't turn that down any? Why am I getting so much background interference? That's screwed up. Alright. Sorry about that. Let's check the chat. The chat says... Okay, so they've got a bone heist going. They got the Skullbot taking up some chat in there, but there's a NumbedSkull. So if you have a mold of your vagina for others to buy, but then decide you don't want people using that toy, is it rape since you no longer consent to them using that toy?
No, it's not. It's not
I
rape,
tell you
it's a
what,
toy.
you can look at it like this, okay? They sold a copy, and a copy cannot be retracted once it's sold, okay? Now, it's not rape until you keep trying to have sex with it as it's falling apart.
Oh God, no! Oh God!
That's disgusting.
If you clone a vagina, if you clone your vagina and then sell that, and then say no, don't fuck my cloned vagina, that might be rape.
That might be rape, but that's for the clone to decide, not for you.
Exactly.
My fleshlight cannot tell me it does not want to do its job because I paid it to do the job I wanted to do.
Yeah, like, fucking horse.
Unwanted Reaper being the good guy he is in chat, handing out the bone.
Oh.
What else we got going on? But I don't
Darkseid,
want
you better
these
take those bones.
There's
Take them.
lots of bones to go around. Okay, so anybody new in the chat, for every minute you watch, you get one bone from one of my bots. The other one, which I'm working on, will give you one every 5 minutes, but nobody has access to those yet because I haven't turned the features on. One is exclamation bones. One is exclamation bone. There's also there's a command called bone. There's a command called boned. There's a command called fuck you Nightbot. There's another command called fuck you Nightbot. Those are just the ones I'm looking at right now. Entertainment purposes only. YouTube's gonna ban me next. I've got controversial topics, swear words, and I'm always talking about the bone. I could be mistaken somehow. Do you want to pick the next topic before I go off on a dumb tangent again?
Okay, I want to really let me get angry. So let's take the LGBTQ plus.
It's not always about the uncomfortable moments, but about how comfortable you are with yourself. Is that why people come out as blank to force comfort with who they are by those around them? So it's a long one. Let me read that again just so it's clear. It is not always about the uncomfortable moments, but about how comfortable you are with yourself. Is that why people come out as blank, asterisk, so to speak, to force comfort with who they are by those around them?
Fuck, that's a good question.
Because here's a fair question as I drop shit. Here's a fair question. The whole thing came out with people coming out with who they are, but it's nobody's business unless they're doing it as a public ploy or as I need to meet somebody, but I'm not like everybody. So is coming out these days for some people a way to go, I feel uncomfortable with hiding who I am and just trying to pass. I'm going to come out with who I am so that people understand that I'm trying to pass and don't look at me funny for it.
Oh, yeah, totally. Some people do that. That must happen. In this society we live in nowadays, with the transgender shit and all the other kind of bullshit, I'm pretty sure some people are feeling forced to come out to like feel comfortable. And if you're like if you're not one of those arguing assholes who just wants look at me, I'm special snowflake, and you just want, oh my god, people just respect me. I can see you wanting to come out just for that reason. That would make sense, yeah.
Right. And I apologize. I figured out what the background noise is. It's my computer cranking out that processing power. I'm looking for a boon for my mic, so I'll get there slowly. We'll get rid of the noises one at a time. And then I'll add in other noises just for fun. I worry sometimes that... No, I can't say I worry. I see that the LGBTQ plus community is... Some people are so diligent to fight for the rights and the voice of the people in the community to a point where it almost feels like they're pushing their way in and making it so that there's no choice but to accept them. And I grew up in a time, in an age where if you wanted to pass, or if you wanted to be something that you physically weren't, you didn't say it. You just, people would disappear for a year or two and come back, and you wouldn't really be able to tell who they were.
Yeah, that's so true. Because how the LGBTQ plus pedos and all the other assholes are going at they are trying to push away other people's what other people can do because they want to feel comfortable. And the same with if you pass or you try to pass, instead of just yelling like a fucking retard, I swear a lot, sorry for that, you could just as you say, take a year off, change your appearance, change your lifestyle, and then do that. You don't have to force it into the throat of everyone else, like, look at me, I'm special.
Yeah, look at me, I'm special, but treat me normal because I told you I'm special.
Yes,
that's all right. So everybody from time to time is going to see somebody in this community, whether they realize it or not. They're going to cross your daily interactions at the grocery store, at the Walmart, something. Somebody's going to, whether you're aware of it or whether it's well enough for you to just pass it by as something normal, which is what most people, I think, are probably after, is just to be normal, to pass as what they want to be, to not be seen separately. But then when you make that little extra effort to go, I'm coming out as non-binary, non-conforming, non-metallic, containing 0.01% lead and purple hair. So you want to stand out, you're just being freaky. So just do what you were gonna do, you're gonna stand out anyway.
Yeah, you don't have to force it in my throat, you fucking butthole.
Then there's... You're kind of hurting it for the people that don't want to stand out. You're calling attention to the ones that are trying to walk behind you and go, don't look at me, I'm just trying to blend in.
Yeah, You're just shitting on people who like. It's always the weirdos that yell the loudest, and the weirdos are just shitting on everyone else.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with any person wanting to do what they want to do with their lives. Within, legal reasons, obviously. But don't stand there and say, don't make a spectacle of me, without inherently realizing that by stopping to stand there and say, don't make a spectacle, you're purposefully making yourself a spectacle. And those around you who might be somewhere near you, and then you're affiliating yourself with a group, and they're all going, wait, what is that? Who are you?
It's tough to argue against because it's so hypocritically retarded, and I don't think there's anything I hate more than transgenders and such people who do this just because, oh my god, I'm so special, take care of me because I'm special, I want to be treated normal, but I'm special, and if you treat me normal, then I'm not special and you're racist, but if you treat me special, no, I'm normal, so you're a terrible person.
And the logic, when you simplify it down, just doesn't make as much sense as when they spend 20 minutes explaining why it makes sense. And you're like, oh, that sounds kind of feasible. And then you're like, but wait a second. Okay, no, that doesn't work. I thought about it for 5 minutes now that you finished talking. And that's just not... No, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, meanwhile... Let's look at the chat. Everyone special gets a complimentary bundle that comes with one helmet and a box of crayons. Looking up King's Knight. But isn't it the law in Europe, in the Europe state, that if a man's member enters a vagina without consent, it's rape? So, with that, the first question applied in Europe, wouldn't that be rape? Yes. But if you pay for it, and it's... Yeah. Is prostitution legal in Europe? That's going back to question.
That depends on which country we are talking about. Because in some, like, Wales it is, but Denmark, no.
I'm trying to see if I missed anything else.
Gap keep losing. Haha.
Somebody found the... oh, no. That was Reaper. Okay. Reaper knows what the bots will do. He just loves messing with them. Alright, let's get to the next topic before I distract myself again.
Okay. That's tough. Video games.
Video games. Games come on many platforms now, but is a phone game as good as a console game?
That depends on the game. What the fuck? Yeah, that just depends on the game. If the game is good, it can be just as good as a console game. There's some shit fucking console games.
Oh yeah, there's absolute garbage console games. And there's absolutely wonderful phone games. But are the phone games better than the console games?
Again, that only depends on the game. Like, if you have something like, what was it, Black Tiger for PS4, and you have, I don't know, any game on Android almost, it's a better game.
I've played a few games that, okay, I'm gonna own up to it. I'm a Minecrafter. I've played Minecraft on phones and tablets and consoles and computers, and the phone version is kind of crap. The other downfall to games is you can only do two things at most at a time. And when you're playing on a phone, and you're trying to go forward and hit, it didn't always jump properly, even with the auto jump on. I've noticed that with a lot of games is you can make a couple of movements, but you can't hit 3 of the buttons, so to speak, at the same time on your phone. I've played some mad cool games on my phone, but the little button panels, your phone only takes 2 fingers at a time, sometimes 3. The newer phones take 3 a little better, but hit 3 buttons on your phone with 2 fingers on the front.
I think a better question is, it's not even a question, it's like more console games are better than phone games, but some phone games can be better than console games. That's the, like, because, yeah.
I don't know. I would still argue the very best game on my phone is nowhere near as good as the very worst game on my console.
100% disagree with many of the, like, I don't know, it's not super gaming, but still tower defense games and such that started out on Androids and such.
Later, Malevolent Rider, if that was you taking off.
Yeah, but I don't think that. I think you have to base every single game on its own merit. Enjoyment comes from who you are and the situation and where you are, and then basically
Peggle on console. As I look through the chat, yes, I've played Peggle, one of the very few cheesy games, but it came free 1 month for Xbox. I actually had a blast playing it on the console. Shit on the phone.
I bet I played it on the PC.
I don't play Fruit Ninja. I do.
No.
There's a couple of those. There's a couple of games that I can see maybe being on equal grounds, and that's those like restaurant style games here. Fry donuts, make cakes, the burgers. There's dozens and hundreds and maybe even more of those games where everything's on a timer. This takes 3 seconds, move it over here, hand it to the customer. Those are games that would maybe be more difficult on a console because of moving things around, but I don't know.
You have to fit the genre with what works for like the controller setup you have. Like strategy games and FPS are just way better on PC, but that doesn't mean that PC games are better than console games, even though they are. PC Master Race.
Wait, what show was that yesterday? Was that yesterday's or the day before? I think it was yesterday's. The shows start to blend together in my mind sometimes. It's like, that's why I gotta change up the screen every once in a while. It's like, I gotta see something different. I've been staring at the same thing too long. Even if you guys haven't, I have, and I'm bored and I gotta move on just a little. Alright. Any last comments as the buzzer goes in?
No.
No?
Games suck. I don't play games.
I play games when I'm in the mood. And then I'll play for a few hours in a row and forget what the hell else I was supposed to do.
Yeah, basically.
I want to see... While we're doing this, we'll have a little chat, and hopefully most people know that I do some cool behind-the-scenes stuff over here, trying to make everything cool, and I'm wondering why it's not working. I don't want to open another website, because that'll lag down my display a little. I'm trying to figure out, so there's supposed to be like a credit reel that runs behind my head, or behind Lo-Fi's head, and I don't know why it is not working today. But we can go ahead and pick the next topic while everything does what it does on this side.
Let's go with politics, just to make it really dry.
Yeah, I don't think I've done this one in a while. how does a state judge have the jurisdiction to overrule a federal decision, in some cases choose to follow one law over another?
Oh, that's a good question. Like technically, if you look at where they are in the social hierarchy or the state hierarchy, they technically shouldn't. But I think it's just a safety precaution instead of just having everyone have to follow this that goes on. You do have some control over where it is that you rule or judge.
Okay, let me ask before I go too far. What country are you in?
I'm in Denmark.
You're in Denmark. Okay. That's the accent that I hear. Makes a little sense now. So, in the United States, our trifecta government, the judicial branch is really only supposed to enforce and interpret things that are written. So, if this obviously, being a hot topic, can be applied to Trump's travel ban, and there was another one that's escaping my empty head right now. If the judges are reading the laws, obviously it goes to the freshest standing law relating to what they're hearing. So if they're hearing a case that has to do with civil rights and civil liberties, it starts with, okay, you have your freedom of speech, you have your right to bear arms, these are your rights. And then there's a whole bunch more shit added on, as I'm sure there is with your country. And they're supposed to interpret where you fall within all of these. So if a state being on lower authority than the nation decides that a national law sort of outside the jurisdiction of the state is not right and doesn't adhere to the law when it's written following the law, how does a judge have the right to overrule a decision higher than the judge's position? It to me, it seems kind of confusing. I do, to a point, understand, but it is still a problem I see.
Yeah, I get that. I can speak for the Danish. We are a very small country, of course, but we do split our country up in multiple quote unquote states, and they do not have the ability to overrule what the federal decision of. That's just not gonna happen.
I didn't think it was supposed to happen. I didn't think it was allowed to happen. But here we are. We have Washington and California and Florida state judicial state judges making decisions that say, hey, what the federal government decided, we're not going to hold up because it violates some rule we found that we feel is classified higher than the rights that United States government assigns to you for being a citizen.
Yeah, I guess with the US you can always go for the Constitution states this, so I don't feel like this law actually follows the Constitution.
Yeah, and that's where the argument comes in, is yes, the Constitution would be the primary list of what we're able to do as citizens. And then added on, there's obviously more national laws. There's state laws, there's local laws, and then it goes all the way down to the level you're at. A little too confusing sometimes, but still, it's there. You wonder if a state judge can say, no, this federal law isn't right, even though it's within the rights of the person writing the law. And it's, what they did was okay, but we're overruling it because we don't agree with it, because it may fall under this mistreatment of people. But you're not mistreating people. Like, the logic behind it doesn't hold up, and these judges seem to be the ones making the decision, not those who were elected to make the decision. I know. Hot topic, right?
Your country's so fucking weird.
And it just gets more and more confusing as time goes, without a doubt.
I love it. I don't follow Danish politics much, but I do follow a lot of the US politics. I can't help myself. It's really
It's
fun.
like a soap opera. How can you not follow it? Oh, exactly. They're colluding with the Russian government. News at 11. No, they weren't colluding with the Russian government. The accusers were colluding with the Russian government. News at 11. New report comes out. It just seems
I noticed something on stream that my groin has turned into a smaller version of the games of the quiz.
Your what?
My groin. Where? Look at the screen.
Yes, you have a version of the game at the podium. What I thought was difficult was being the structure of your avatar versus the podium. I wanted the podium a little bit smaller than mine, so everybody knows that you're the guest on my show, and it's still my show. That's why my name's on my podium, and you have a board.
I have a board.
But I was putting your avatar behind the podium, and if you don't get the sizing just right, I had this really, really tiny podium in front of you and this really big avatar, and the spacing was all off. I can mimic it and play with it a moment, because I always do ever so love entertaining. Here we go. So I had you about like... Oh no, I didn't do that in this one. I can, do I want to resize the podium? No, we don't. We'll leave that where I had it. I'm just screwing shit all up now. I'm just screwing it all up. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. Yeah. We'll stop fucking with it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I was trying to just show enough. Now the bottom of your leg with no foot is showing, and it's all... What have I...
It's okay. I don't have feet.
What have I done?
It's fine.
I know.
I don't need feet.
We're gonna hide your feet behind the podium, but we're gonna leave the picture ever so provocatively just over the top. Entertainment purposes only. All right.
Show boobs and vagina. No.
I'm not showing enough. Is there a problem? Is there not enough? I can make many different adjustments. Oh, out of control. Gone. All right. I think I need to get back to the board.
I left. Okay.
Would you like to get the next topic underway before I mess with too many of my settings?
I'm gonna take Reaper's suggestion on toys.
In the colder months, it's harder to find things for the kids. Besides electronics, what toys would you give kids to play with inside?
What's the age for kids? When do they stop? Like 12 years old, and they stop being kids?
No. At about 1, they will take anything that writes and write on anything they can. At about 2, they'll break anything that's breakable while putting anything that's able to fit in their mouth into their mouth. By 5, they kind of understand things, but they're pocketing everything. By 10, they can play on their own for the most part.
Okay, so these kids we're talking about here, what age group is that? Just from 0 to?
Feel free. What experience do you have with children?
Not well. I have my big brother has kids I've looked after, and I've looked after a lot of kids. Don't have any of my own. So limited, but I know what I give my nephews and such. I give them dinosaur toys and teaching books like archaeology and things about dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Coincidentally, my son and daughter, mostly my son because they were his first, have dozens of model dinosaurs and books and more books and novels and puzzles and tracks and whatever I could afford to get them when I could afford to get them shit. As for what toys to play with inside,
I know what toys I used to play with inside when it's cold out there. That's just in general. Let's not talk about that.
no, that's been on the show in the toy category. We've talked that before. I need a new desk. I need a new office. I gotta build something here. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it out.
Fuck you, Gap. Fucking dinosaurs are wonderful. Especially books where you can learn about dinosaurs.
Okay, so maybe somebody will remember this. I'm in my mid-30s, and when I was in maybe between 9 and 15, they had these magazines that came out. They were about dinosaurs. And once a year, they'd come out with the 3D glasses and all of the cool pictures in the yearly episodes. And when I say a magazine, I mean like a book-style magazine. And you'd get these pieces that would go to this dinosaur. So if you collected all the magazines, you'd get a whole bunch of pieces to build this glow-in-the-dark dinosaur skeleton. So I collected the magazine for about 3 years. I had almost 3 of the full skeletons before I couldn't, on my allowance, afford to keep paying for the magazine. That thing was so freaking cool.
Sounds cool.
You're talking like a 2-foot tall plastic glow-in-the-dark dinosaur skeleton.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I think they were like 50 to 60 pieces each. You got like 5 to 10 a month depending on the size of the piece. And they were those big plastic sheets that looked like a piece of paper. You had to pop all the pieces out, and they all had the little number carved in, and you'd slide them in the little slots that they'd fit into. And the first one was the legs, the spine, and the tail usually, and then you'd get in like half the ribs in one magazine, and half the ribs in. Yes, purple works, or it should work. It's not deactivated. It just won't go crazy. But you know what I was thinking? Just for fun, I may, every time somebody figures out what the secret word is, start programming another secret word for the bot. So you're left out of the joke. I'll cycle this category through just in case. Yesterday I did shooting the crap stream, and towards the end of the stream somebody wrote in the chat something purple, and the bot flipped and just starts going, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain with the purple face. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain with the purple face." Over and over and over and over.
Wow. Okay.
The bot just flipped. Somebody triggered it with the color purple, and the bot flipped on everybody in the chat. Oh, it was entertaining. And then I leave the chat open later and see if there's anything I, missed. I try, depending on how much activity is in the chat. I scroll back through it before I close it, and just before I close it, I'm looking at all these, showing my wife, look at my bot broke today. And at the bottom I see this, ha 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 ha, that was the best thing. That was, or what was it? That was the best thing I've seen in a chat in a long time. Yeah, it was irate prostate. It was freaking hysterical. I'm on this side shutting things down left and right. I couldn't figure out what bot was running off with the color purple. I didn't remember programming it in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it was it was great. It was like one of those malfunctions at the end of the show that's like, oh, crap, what's going on? The bot's broken. It's just flipped.
Ah, that sounds fun.
I try. The bots are there for supplemental entertainment purposes. That's what we'll call it. They're there to fuck with the people when I can't. Secret word, Dick Ars Blahoff. Blonhoff. Secret word, Blonhoff.
Ah,
Does anybody speak Italian?
No, it's German. Bahnhof. It's train station.
Oh, train station. Oh.
Auschwitz. Yeah, we have to learn German in Denmark.
I have been told I have German, or I'm of German descent, but I haven't been able to find it. I found my Irish lineage, and I haven't paid for one of those stupid 23andMe's. But apparently my family came from Ireland in the mid-1500s. Yay!
I come from Sweden. Shoot me.
I can't do an Irish accent. How am I Irish? But my hair... Okay, so you know how Irish people are ginger, right? Predominantly. Yes. Okay, so my hair on my head and, you know, the top of my head is brown. Never know I'm Irish. But my beard, like, grows in part black and part, like, gold Irish, or like an orangish Irish color. Like an orange.
Like an orange?
Like an orange. Is that Irish, or am I doing Scottish? I don't know anymore. I just do these accents and they all just linger off into something stupid. But my beard grows in Irish, and more so now than like 5 years ago. It's starting to grow in darker, and then every here and there I see like little gray hairs, but I'm doing retarded. Thanks. I do retarded, but fun show. You want to pick the next that I'm doing? Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
Do you guys don't need moaning.
Oh god. I should never have moaned on stream yesterday. Oh, people won't be alone. Okay, next topic. Controversy.
Controversy. Absolutely. How would you decide which family members stay or go when illegal immigrant families get split up?
Easy. Are they all illegal? Everyone goes. Fuck off.
See, now that's part of the dilemma, is they're not all illegal, and the problem is that if a foreign citizen should get on American soil and have their child on American soil, and a couple other countries, not many, that child then earns citizenship from that country for being born on its soil.
Yeah.
Okay. If a family from, let's say Mexico, comes across the border, gets treated, and has a child born in the hospital, the child is then an American citizen, the parents are not. Do you send the child back to a country that is not the child's home, or do you accept the parents into the country that is not their home?
No. To both. You take the child and adopt it to a proper family. No, you can give them a chance of the father and mother to get a green card, but then you'll have to, or whatever they need, but then you'll have to X amount of time. If they don't get it, then the child gets taken by child custody, and the parents are gone.
Okay, some countries have actually have laws that will prohibit you from being in their country during a time when they feel you might even have a baby. Certain countries will prohibit you traveling there if you're pregnant, or if you intend to become pregnant, or if you're close to giving birth. They will not give you a visa to travel there. Other countries will absolutely not grant any citizenship to anyone born on their soil if their parents, if not at least one parent, is a citizen of that country. I could be very mistaken, but I think Canada, if you're born in Canada and one of your parents is Canadian, you have Canadian and whatever your other parent's citizenship is, according to Canada. I could be wrong. Yes, they call that an anchor baby. Thank you, Data. Again, different countries have different laws about this, and ours say that if you are born here, you are a citizen, and therefore treated equally under our laws. So how do you treat a 6-month-old citizen whose parents are, 30-year-old Mexicans? Do you send the 6-year-old home with their parents to Mexico? Or here's an open idea to kind of eliminate that anchor baby thing, and then I'll shut up for a minute. Why don't we give them dual citizenship with America as their secondary country? You are a Mexican citizen, but you are secondarily an American citizen. You can apply for full citizenship. Your parents can apply for full citizenship on your behalf, but they cannot apply from within our country.
Yeah. I think that seems fair. In Denmark, if you're part of, like, if you're 50-50, let's say your mother is Danish and your father is French, you get to become a Danish citizen when you're born, but you automatically get the chance to just talk with the embassy and get a French citizenship as well. That's what Denmark provides. It's fucking great. But if your parents are illegal, both of them, and you get born in there, I honestly, I don't care. You're breaking the law by crossing the border, so, well, you get taken in by child custody and your parents get to fuck off, and they might be able to get what they need to get in legally, and they can apply to get you back.
Right. And honestly, don't get me wrong, the parents for illegally entering a country. Now, I'm not talking about overstayed visas. I'm talking about illegally entering the country or purposefully staying in a country beyond your permitted allotted time. If you have a baby there, the baby's secondary citizenship would be the country they're born in. And the baby, not the parents, would have the rights in the future to apply for citizenship with a minute higher probability of getting it.
Yes.
Not the parents.
No, see, that. I like your idea. It sounds very good. That I could go in for that.
Because you're rewarding the parents for breaking the law to give their child a better life. Okay, you want to give your child a better life. We will reward your child. But we're sorry, we're not going to allow you to be rewarded for it. You go home with your child. When your child gets near the, 16, 18, whatever it is, eligible age to apply for residency on their own accord in our country, we will let them move here. If they can then afford to get you in at some point down the road before you pass away, cool. Don't get me wrong, I'm the kind of guy that if I can't afford to see a doctor, no matter what my fucking insurance is, I'm not going to see a doctor because I can't fucking afford it. Don't do things you can't afford to do.
Agreed. It's just stupid.
Well, yeah, they are don't take this the wrong way, but they are highly less educated than those of us, which is why they're after the better life. I understand that, but...
How can you take that? I don't get when people take that the wrong way. To say they are highly less educated, it's not that difficult. Just look at statistics and check amount of people who get an education. It's not something against their intelligence that they can't or don't get an education. That's just how the country works. People shouldn't get offended.
No, and what I'm saying is, I'm not calling Mexicans stupid. What I'm saying is the people that would illegally cross the border to try and get past one law for another are fucking morons. And that balances out. That should make the country stupid, but that's not what I'm saying. Just to clarify.
Now it turned into a controversy.
Controversy! I love
Controversy.
it. I love saying that word all awkward. Controversy. It sounds like I live in...
It's me, Mario's controversy.
Countocula. We won't get into my voice changer. It's not open right now.
Okay, so... Chat, help me.
King's Knight, are you also in here? I know you're in my Discord. I thought I saw you in here. He posted not the Gaul, what are they called? The little dogs that were the pets of the Gaul from the Ghostbusters video. The Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, fuck. I don't... Oh, that's a good idea, Darkseid. Now we are talking about Ghostbusters. We should take movies.
Okay, so King's Knight, you're gonna love this. In my Discord, if you haven't learned it already, type in, is it Gatekeeper or Keymaster? Yeah. You put the picture up there. The command was there long ago. So, enjoy that. Maybe it's Gatekeeper.
I think it's Gatekeeper and the Keymaster does one of each. They hold the key.
There it is. I am the Gatekeeper. Are you the Keymaster?
Yeah,
I'm working on the rest of them. There was a bot showdown in there a couple months ago. There used to be an I am the Keymaster one, but I had to turn it off because the bots didn't respond well. I made the... Okay, so just so you guys all understand, when I get bored and I'm trying to divert my mind, I will program the bots to talk to each other in the rooms.
Seriously?
Yes. I've
Oh my God,
programmed them to have like 2- and 3-stage conversations. It gets more difficult the more back and forth there is. And I just got a new bot, so if I get bored and go that angle again, it's bound to get interesting with 3 of them. Hey, entertainment. If nothing else, and nobody, if nobody comes to talk to me, I'm programming the bots to entertain me. So if all y'all just decide I'm some crazy person that's not worth watching anymore, I still got 3 bots in the crowd. I'll always have 3 bots or more in the crowd. They'll be watching me. I have viewers. They can't leave because I'm in charge of them.
Oh my God, we can trick YouTube. 250 viewers per show. And
I'm not doing that many bots. I'm not doing that many bots. It hurts. I'm cranking out some processing power and a little bit of bandwidth right now.
Okay, I say we take movies.
Movies! Yes, that was the one that popped up first. Movies. We have more people on the planet than ever before, but fewer new ideas for movies than seen before. Are we hitting a stale age of creativity, or at least a slow one?
No, we are hitting a, what you call, earn as much money for as little effort as possible as we have for the last many years. It's generally just a tactic. It's the same thing games are based on. It's called how much can I get away with as little work and still deliver a product that is technically watchable, even though it's not very good and will turn a huge profit. It's nothing to do with creativity. Creativity doesn't sell.
Okay. I'll agree with you, except that creativity doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell as much because you have to use more time and you have to use more effort to pump out creative shit. And that costs more and it's a risk. And no one likes to take a risk nowadays because why take a risk when you can guarantee income this way?
You're right. I'm done. I'm going to go make movies. See y'all later. Thanks. Bye.
Well, it's my show now. Welcome to Lo-Fi Skull.
I just lost myself again. Damn. I think if somebody came up with an idea that was creative and new, and when I say new, I'm not talking about, something put with a new spin. I'm not talking about rebirthing a movie that's been done. I'm not talking about taking a book from the 1930s and turning it into a film. I'm talking about a new idea. Take something new. A new thought, a new design. Something with a whole new premise behind it. And take it to a creator, or take it to Fox or NBC or Netflix or whoever the fuck you take it to. If they see a cool, creative plan, they're gonna lock into that and go, okay, this has never been done before. This could make us money.
Are they though? Okay, take it like this, because I fully want to do that, and I say good for you to every filmmaker and such that dares do that, and for every show that wants to do that. But if you have Mr. Transformers dude, I forgot his name, stupid shitty movie dude, comes in and says, I have this movie, this will make gazillions of dollars. Reviewers will hate it, most reviewers hate it, you will earn a ton. And then another guy comes in and says, I have the best idea in the world, never done before. It will become a cult hit later on, but initially the sales won't be so good, but at least it's new. They're gonna say, the fuck off, we want the money. Yeah, Michael Bay, thank you, Darkseid.
Yes, wherever I go, there I am. I love that phrase. That phrase is awesome. The other one I try to forget sometimes, but almost always remember, is the footprints in the sand. I'm not religious, but I grew up in a religious part of a family, and my grandmother used to have that hanging in the house, and I still have something that was passed through the family that has the poem Footprints in the Sand. So
I have the baddest experience with the footprints in the sand, because the first time I ever heard it, they replaced, what is it, Jesus with, what you call it, Bigfoot? So when he turned to look at Bigfoot replied,
but what about when I only see one set of footprints in the sand? Oh, that's when you were on my shoulder. Something.
Oh, that's amazing.
What movie had said that? The footprints in the sand. There's also like a rap song about the footprints in the sand. There's several songs about it.
Is it Pig of Destiny? I don't know. There's too many movies. I love movies. I hope we get more creative ideas, but if it doesn't sell, it's not gonna happen.
All right. Note, could we also be seeing the echoing aftermath of the writer's strike a few years back? I forgot I put this in there. Some of these have little quirks behind them.
they weren't much better back then, the writers. You have to go more than a few years back to find good writers.
Do you remember the writer's strike in 03, 02?
I remember many of the writer's strike and some of the disastrous movies that came out of it because people like, well, the director will just write it then.
And then, did you notice after the disastrous movies came all of these, Marvel Universe movies really started to build from that? They're like riding a wave of the trend, and I see the trend dying eventually, but I think that's what it is they're just riding the wave of a trend that they found after the writer's strike.
Yeah, that is why the trends are the money maker. At the moment, we're in the superhero trend.
Oh wow! I am over the hour, chitter chattering away. So let's take a few more minutes off schedule to do the final little chitter chatter because obviously, we're way past time. Just enjoying the game. How do you like it?
I think it's fucking funny. I love it.
Something different, right?
I think it's super fun. I want to come back at some point because this is fun. There's not enough shows like this. It's usually just 10 people going at each other for 2 hours.
Sometimes I chuckle to myself when I see certain things in other streams, and when they stop and they go, "So what are we gonna talk about today?"
That's what happens in my stream. Oh my god!
I heard it. I heard it on the stream the other night.
That's why I intended to. We can't tell this to the creator of our stream, Proper Villains Antoine, but I linked out the hangout because it was going nowhere.
I know. I go to bed. I laid down at like 10 after 8 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I'll just put the stream on. I'll see, what I'm in for, and I fell asleep listening to the stream, and then I woke up in the morning at like 3 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, apparently I was invited to the stream while I was sleeping.
Yeah,
that reminds me, I was supposed to take a nap today and start trying to stay up later.
Oh my god.
No rest for the wicked, I suppose.
No, but as you said, that's exactly what happens. Like, our dear leader has a tendency of going, well, what happens next on our highly thought out show? And, and at that point, it's just, well, if you don't know, fuck this, I'm inviting everyone.
I don't have to go what happens next. I'm just worried about who do I talk to next. So, let me throw this out there in the chat. If you do enjoy the show and you would like to be on it, all you really need is a microphone and a way to contact me, and I will write you down in this little notebook I got going. As of right now, I don't think I have anybody scheduled until next Thursday. Where did I just write that? Thursday, next week, same time, 1 week from today, I have Zell Blastia.
Oh, Zell is on!
Next Thursday, Zell is on.
Yay!
Yay! So, I'm working on lining people up the best I can. This week isn't as full as last week, and I apologize for that. But hey, when you see the stream, retweet it, come in, say hello, hit the like button, make sure you got your YouTube and Twitter connected, and every time you hit like and share, I'll go out to your followers. And then I'll ask your followers to come on my show. And then I'll go out to their followers. And eventually I'll have to actually make a schedule and line people up to get on the show. And I won't have one. I'll have 2 every time, which is the plan. And I might have to make more show times. So, thank you everybody so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, patience, and hanging out 10 minutes over the hour. Thank you for joining me today, Lo-Fi.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I would like to come again.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to start doing that here over the weekend. I'm going to try and schedule out as much of next week as possible. So send me a message over the weekend and see how I'm doing. And I will start scheduling out next week. I want to start bringing back a few guests to fill in the the spots. I want to get at least one person a day, preferably two, because contradictory opinions are important. Different opinions are wonderful. You don't want to be like the person you're standing next to. Just be willing to hear what everybody has to say and then stand your own ground.
Yeah, it's fun when you fight.
Yeah, a little bit of mild fighting doesn't hurt. If I had See, that's part of why this show is different. I'm not telling everybody what they got. There's a board. There's topics. You have an idea. You have your own perspective. You have your own life view. You bring that to the show. If you disgruntled or argue with somebody, I have a spot to go afterwards. If you need a kumite, I'll call some of my friends. We'll make some contacts. You can get on there and argue. Maybe.
So, if you ever get Riley Dennis on, like, and just fill the thing with questions about that, and I would love to get on as well, because I don't think.
Let's put it this way.
Anyone disagree
I have,
as much.
when I did commentary videos, I have reached out to Riley Dennis to try and chat. I'm blocked. However,
of course.
if Riley would like to come on my show and be treated like every other guest on my show,
Of course.
I will offer the most respectful appearance that I can give you with whatever dignity I can offer until you try to give me crap for being accidentally inappropriate. And I just want you to play the game. And if you want to pick those topics, I seriously want the different perspective. So if someone like Riley Dennis or Ash or anybody want to play the game, they can send me a DM. I will schedule them an appearance. You can ask any guest that's ever been on the show. I don't screen people. I don't ask you what you got. I don't give you shit about your microphone or your sound unless there's a lot of echo. I just want you on the show to get your point of view out on the topics on the board, and we'll keep rolling. No, Riley would never be on my show. And this is not an echo chamber. I will even myself offer multiple points of view for whatever topic pops up.
You're doing a great job. It's very fun.
I hope so. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. I wanted to, one last thing, figure out why this isn't working. So let's go in here. Let's go to my dashboard. And a few of you that subscribed before the show, let me show you what cool stuff I have for if you subscribe during the show. Not that I mind or care when you subscribe, but that's pretty cool. One more.
That is cool.
I think. There it is. That took me half of a day to make that.
Holy shit.
So
Well, that's
I
nice.
created that and transferred it over. Sound effects came from a really long track. I picked out something that I liked, cut it down. I mean, I put a lot of effort into this because this is fun for me. To be creative and to give you guys my creativity and to have the conversation. So now that my fun has gone 15 minutes over my schedule, I want to say one more time I really appreciate everybody for coming. And today is only Thursday, so tomorrow at 9 a.m. there'll be one more show this week of The Great Debate. Tune in, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join the conversation, and we'll see you all later.
Bye.